Hey, welcome to Fahrenheit Performance Podcast, episode number 78. Today we have Xuan Jie,
Yes, that's right.
national duathlon champ, current national duathlon champ. Stand Chart half marathon, right? You came third.
Yeah.
You're in the duathlon national A squad, correct?
Yes.
Is that correct?
Yes.
Xuan Jie, welcome to the podcast.
Thank you.
Why don't you just start by telling us who you are, what do you do, and what brings you here today?
So I'm a year one physiotherapist, and I'm also part of the national team for duathlon. And I started training for duathlon when I was in J2. So it was in 2023. Yeah. That was when I actually first started competitively. And yeah.
I just want to apologize to you because I should have asked you to do this ages ago, but I actually thought that you were in high school. And then I found out that you're a physiotherapy student. I'm like, dude, what, you're 20 or something, right? So I was I'm not sure if that's a compliment or if it's an insult, but
Everyone says I'm 12.
yeah,
know.
you do look very young.
I'm 20. I'm turning 20 this year.
So, are you doing duathlon because you're not a very good swimmer, or you can't swim, or are you doing duathlon because you are dominating duathlon and you're a serious runner, and you'd think, okay, triathlon would be the obvious step, right? But it seems like you don't do triathlon at all.
I used to swim when I was younger.
Okay.
And then I stopped. Then I didn't really like swimming. I tried when I picked up triathlon in 2023, at the start of 2023. Then I tried swimming here and there. I didn't really like it. I don't like the cold, number one.
Okay.
And then I don't you don't get the same feeling as running.
Yeah.
Because you feel so free on running. But then in the water, you're like,
It's not your element, right?
Yeah.
It's sort of a bit claustrophobic and
Correct.
a bit, yeah. I understand.
and it's very it's very technical, and so you have to learn really from the base, from zero again.
And it takes a lot of training hours to
Yeah.
improve a little bit.
That's right.
Yeah.
And I'm weaker at the swim, so I was
Right.
I really like running, and cycling is I'm okay. So
Yeah. So it's sort of like Arif. Arif is the same. He's been on the podcast before, and he said the same thing. He said, Bryce and those guys are normally 30 seconds faster than me out of the water, and that's already enough to make it difficult in a draft legal race. And
right.
it doesn't have to be a lot, but if there's a gap, it makes a big difference. So he said,
That's
"Oh,
right.
I'm out. I'll just focus on what I'm doing well."
Yeah.
And he's also doing duathlon, right?
yeah, he's doing really well.
I know, he's awesome. Okay, so what triggered you to get into the sport in the first place?
Actually, it's a really, really long story. So
Hey,
I did my
We've
first
got half an hour. Okay.
triathlon when I was in P5, and
Wow.
that was really for fun. I was racing in
Is it like the cold storage kids triathlon or something?
no, it was the
Metasprint?
trifecta or
Trifecta.
something. But I was using a Toys R Us bike, and then we reached the starting late, and then my dad was still everyone went into the water, and then my dad was like, take a picture, and then I was just standing there, and then everyone was in the water already.
P5's like 9, 10 years old, right?
Yeah, I was 9.
Yeah.
It was for fun. Then after that, I did one more when I was in Sec 3, also for fun, here and there, not much. And then COVID hit,
Yeah.
and I started running a lot. And then my dad biked with me a lot as well. And honestly, at that point, it was actually when I was recovering from, I had anorexia when I was
Wow.
when I was 12.
Yeah.
Wait, no, when I was 14. So that was Sec 2
Yeah.
before COVID.
Okay.
So honestly, that was what really brought me into running.
Okay.
At that point,
So
it
it's
was
sort of like a recovery from anorexia to you doing running
Yeah.
to as part of getting out of that sort of chapter in your life.
yeah, correct. Actually, it was a really toxic relationship with running during my anorexia, and
Sure,
then
of
only
course.
after that, I recovered and I could really
Because running, you're burning a lot of calories.
Yeah, that's
And then you're not
right.
eating a lot of calories.
Yeah.
And then it's it must be terrible.
Yeah, so honestly, during COVID, it was the point where I got much healthier and I could run more, and then I biked a lot. We had time.
Yeah.
That was when I really think, oh, I actually like running. Yeah, but I was a badminton player then.
Wow.
Yeah, because
Okay.
I did the direct school admission when I was in primary school. So you DSA to a secondary school, and I had to like go through badminton until I was Sec 4.
And if you DSA, you have to compete for the school, right?
Yeah, so I had to stay in the CCA. So I couldn't leave, although I really like running. And then that was when I started losing passion for like badminton. Yeah. Then but I just like continue running myself for fun.
So you just realized that you're actually a pretty good runner. Did you do any like 10Ks or 5K races back then?
No, actually no.
Yeah.
And then I reached JC. After that, I still didn't pick up like competitive running because I went to join like ultimate frisbee. Yeah, for year 1. That was when like I went to A&E 4 times in that year.
Because of ultimate frisbee?
Yeah.
Contact or the non-contact?
It's a non-contact sport, but I don't know why I got like so many injuries.
Yeah, it was bumps and there's...
And no, but one was like a really, really stupid injury for myself from like the box jumping. Like the spectator stand. Like it was a holiday, and then I was just like in school, I was just doing my own because we had like this self program, and I was just doing box jumping.
So you're jumping up the stairs or onto the
the stairs?
Onto the bleachers?
No, it was like, the track, and then there are like spectator stands. So it was like a cement material. So I was just jumping, and it's really, really, really sharp.
Yeah.
And then,
it's not just sharp, it's unforgiving, right?
Yeah, it's so edgy and everything. And I think I was super tired already. I was on like the last rep. And then I was just jumping, and I just like jammed into the whole spectator stand. And then I could see my own like bones and like the subcutaneous fat layers.
So how long did that put you out for?
I think about 3 weeks or so. We had like 11 stitches on each leg. Yeah.
Would you call yourself a clumsy person? You are a bit of a klutz.
I think I'm very injury prone as well. But thankfully we didn't have like that many crashes on the bike. I don't have like serious one, touch wood. But I haven't had any too bad yet.
Okay, so then your first real race, when was that and how did you do?
Oh, my first real race was actually we did that was my first race that I actually represented Singapore, but it was before I actually had all this proper training.
Yep.
Because they had won National Duathlon Championships in Philippines in 2022 at the year end. So they were just calling for like people to join.
Yep.
And then I was like not really in the sport yet, but then they wanted me to like take part, and I was
knew that
like,
you can run. You're a decent runner,
yeah,
right?
and I really wanted the opportunity as well. So after that, we just like rushed to get my new bike, and then we had to do like so much of the bike feed and everything, and then so that was my first race. I didn't do well, definitely, because I wasn't like training properly yet. I didn't really have the foundation, but it was a really good exposure for me.
Yeah.
Like I met a lot of the other team Singapore athletes there, and then I got to understand the sport much better. Like, and then I made friends from other countries as well.
Yep.
Yeah. So it's really great.
And you said that you're a physio student, right?
Yeah.
You are currently first year physio student, right? How are you finding juggling your training with first year physio? Because like last week I had Ng Xuan Jie, the hurdler, and he's a med student doing like national level training and med student, and both of those take a lot out of you, right?
Yeah.
Physio is not easy, and there's a lot of practical work and a lot of theory and a lot of body stuff, right? Do you still find like you have enough time to do as much training as you want, or is it kind of a struggle every week?
Honestly, definitely it's a struggle. Like, it's difficult to cope, and I'm like almost living like day after day, trying to survive.
Yep.
But I'm lucky enough to be surrounded with people who are actually very supportive. Like my classmates, they really understand like, oh, I have like commitments outside.
Yeah.
And then they try to help me with whatever they have.
Yeah.
But I also definitely have to put in my own effort to like try to stay on task and everything. And as for training side, my coach, because my schedule is different every week, so my coach will like find out what is my schedule like for this.
Also, the timetable changes.
Yeah, we don't have
constantly.
like a fix. Yeah, that is even worse because it's difficult to be planning. Like, because like track sessions, you want to do it with other people, then you need to know like, oh, when what is a super
Oh yeah, at
good
least you want some
time?
structure, right? Like every
Yeah.
Tuesday you're on the track, or every
Yeah,
Thursday or whatever,
correct.
right? But
But yeah,
so then, is your school quite lenient on you? Like, let's just say you have to go to Asian Games or some Asia Cup, right?
yeah.
They let you take time off to travel and do these sort of things, or
Yeah, they are understanding, but definitely we have to like provide a plan of how you're gonna juggle between your school and like your competition or training. Then you give them like a schedule, like
Yeah.
what you're gonna do to keep you on task.
it's almost like an extra layer of complication, right?
Yeah.
Having to do all this planning.
Yeah.
Herlene, she was on a few weeks ago now, maybe a month ago. She actually took 5 years to do her 4-year degree because of all this, right?
Yeah.
I don't think SIT would let you do that, but is it something that you thought about?
I don't think SIT will let me do that, and I myself personally wouldn't want to do that.
Okay.
Because I really hope that I will be able to graduate with my course mates, and I also, because I believe like if I have the will, if
Yeah.
there's a will, there's always a way,
Yeah.
and I'm kind of like surviving. Maybe it's not the
You're still floating right
easiest.
now, right? You're not
Yeah,
underwater
but
yet.
I just want to try my best and like not give myself like
A backdoor sort of.
like excuses or so.
And it's also like you sort of like a band-aid, right? You just want to get it done, figure it off,
That's right. That's
get
right.
it, put it behind you, move on to the next step, right?
Yeah, and like, cause SIT just moved from Dover to Pongo, so I'm really much closer to home now.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That's a big difference.
Yeah.
Good for you.
Yeah, so almost every morning I can get like a session in first before I go to school.
Okay.
And then I can get one more session after school, so it really helps a lot in that sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So are you training twice a day for most days?
Most days I would say, but they are not like hard sessions. So I wouldn't have like hard sessions. Like it will be an easy and a hard session, or like an easy and like a easy.
Okay. So how many hours do you train a week?
I would say about like 15 to 17.
So 15 would be 2 hours a day, maybe on the weekends, three and three or something like
Yeah.
that, right?
Yeah.
So then what's a typical week look like for you for training wise?
I usually have like 2 track sessions. So they will be on Monday and Wednesday, like today. Yeah. And then I have like a gym session as well, usually after a track session.
Okay.
Yeah. Then I have a harder run, it's not a track session, but a harder run on Saturdays. Then
That'd be a longer run as well.
yeah, that would be a longer run. And then
So how long is a long run is relative, right?
up
How long is a longer run?
20K.
Okay.
Yeah, but depends on like how hard the session is. Yeah, but we usually go for like longer mileage on
Okay.
on Saturday.
You ran half marathon,
Yeah.
right? You don't run marathon? Is that?
Marathon? Marathon is like double the half marathon.
It is.
I mean, I like the long stuff, and I might want to pursue the marathon in the future.
But currently you're not training
No.
for, and you're not competing in the marathon, right?
But we'll be going up to Gold Coast
Yeah.
in a few weeks' time for the half marathon.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what is that like for me? I love half marathons. Even though my last one I didn't finish, but
When was
episode number 1.
way back?
Way 2023 I did the Sanchart. I woke up in the middle of the tent and I didn't finish the race. But before that, many years ago, I used to do that. Half marathon was my like my
Pet event.
yeah, like my favorite event, because it's like 1.5, 2 hours, depending on how well you do on the day.
Yeah.
And then it's you need to train for it. You can't just wake up and just
That's
go out and run, right? Yeah, and I really enjoy the half marathon.
Then why not the full?
I've done 4 fulls as well, but
Oh.
it's just you can't cram, or you can't cheat a full marathon. You have to put in the work. You can go into a half marathon half baked and still maybe do 2 hours, and you're okay.
Yeah.
But you do that for a full marathon, it's like 6 hours later you're walking across the finish line because it's so hard, right?
Yeah, it's double the distance.
It's double the distance, and it's a long day. Like if you not feeling it in the first 5K, you still got 35 to you still got 35 to go. Right?
That's right.
Yeah, so your 15 hours of that, how much of that is intensity?
Because I also bike. I have like about one bike interval a week as well.
Do you do it at home or on the road?
I do on the trainers because I feel like it's very destructive if I do on the road. It's like
Yeah.
in case there are like cars or like
Well, there's a lot of junk miles, right? You got to take an hour to get
Yeah.
there. You ride for an
That's
hour and then
right.
you take an hour to get home.
yeah. So I prefer doing on the trainers. Like I can focus on like the watts. Yeah. So I think about intensity wise, probably 3 to 4.
Of like hard
Intense.
workout, right? Hard workout,
Yeah,
right?
hard.
Because a lot of people think of 15 hours and they go, oh my God, 15 hours. It's like
Yeah,
so
no.
insane that you do so much, right? And it's like all this 180 beats per minute, work. But it's not actually.
Yeah, because we do a lot of like easy runs,
Yep.
recovery runs, rides.
So would you say it's like a third hard? So 5 hours of hard, 5 hours maybe tempo, and 5 hours of easy. Right.
Yeah, about there.
Okay. Do you train with any team in particular or squad, or is it just you're out there by yourself slogging it out?
Oh, because I actually do train with like a group of guys from like the NUS team.
Okay.
Yeah, and then like because the guys like some of them they are like track workouts like the paces like matches mine. So I find it like really really helpful that I have like people to be able to pace me
Yeah.
or to work with.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's for like running.
Yeah.
And then for bike, I don't usually bike with anyone.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I find that it's a bit difficult to try to match my time with other people since like my schedule is here and there, and I rather like do it on my own,
Yeah.
even it's like if it's just an easy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's true. And then how about recovery and nutrition, right? Recovery wise, are you putting on recovery boots after your sessions? Are you going for sports massage? Do you have a personal ice bath at home or anything like that?
No, I actually use like the sports massage more often.
Yeah.
So like pre-important race, I'll definitely do a sports massage.
Before the race.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like probably a week out of the race.
Yep.
Yeah. Then I'll do a sports massage.
Okay.
And I goes to like the ice bath. Not that often.
Yeah.
But I still do.
It seems to
use
be
them.
like the in thing right now. Like there's all these ice bath
Yeah.
booths and little kiosks popping up everywhere.
Yeah, but they do actually have their benefits.
Yeah.
Like if we use it in a correct method
Yeah.
and correct way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you now that you are a physio student,
Yeah.
right, and you know more about the body and you know more about injuries and what to do if you get injured, what to do not, is that helping you with your training?
Yes, actually, like cause I would like whenever I feel anything that is like a bit funny or like a bit weird,
Yeah.
I'll kind of know like, oh, maybe it's like this muscle or is it that nerve? Or if I feel like tingling, I'll be like, oh, maybe it's like nervy. You can like suss a bit of things out.
I'm not sure if that's a good thing or a bad thing. Too much information, you're gonna psych yourself out.
Yeah, but I like observing people as well, like other friends, or like trying to like think, because they say like, oh, hip pain or here and there, then I'll try and like, oh, is it here, is it there?
Yeah.
It gets interesting.
If you're walking down Orchard Road and you see a bunch of people walking in different things, are you?
Oh yeah, like the gait, like the walking gait analysis. Yes, I like to do that for running because I do run.
Yeah.
So I'll like, oh, maybe his hip is dropping.
Yeah,
or
I do that
something.
for bike fit and cycling all the time as well.
Yeah, it is fun when you know like because you have like some kind of like knowledge, so you kind of know like
Because your eyes are calibrated slightly different, right? And you see things that, like, someone will just see it's just a dude walking, right?
Yeah.
But you're thinking, oh, his left hip is stiff, and then that's why
That's
his foot
right.
is swinging a bit strangely.
yes.
Okay. Have you had any major injuries yourself?
I fractured my clavicle.
Cycling?
No, it was from frisbee.
Okay.
Yes, it was like a contact.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was like one of the biggest. Like it was just it was a fracture that I had. That's all.
Did you have to put a rod in there, or did they just
No,
let it
it
heal?
was just like a cast.
Cast, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I was out.
But that was before your duathlon and running, right?
Yeah, that was in J1.
Yeah.
And that was when I also suffered like the two V's that I have on my shin right now. Yeah, the two scars.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was also from J1, from
Okay.
like frisbee. Actually.
So you're the kid at school that was always in a sling or a cast or wrapped up in some sort of a bandage.
Yes. Yeah, I didn't like. I'm thankful enough to not suffer like major injuries. Yeah, and I hope like I can continue like focusing on recovery and then
Yeah.
like knowing when is too much.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, about 2 months ago, I had met Buri on, who is Bryce and Luke's coach, right? And he said one of the most important things for an athlete is to have a robust body, right? You're a smaller athlete, and the smaller athletes are more prone to overuse injuries. So if you just go out and run 20 kilometers a day for a week, you'd probably get some sort of crazy shin splints and stuff. Do you find that does happen to you as an athlete? If you overtrain, you seem to get injured more.
Yes, definitely. Because I experienced it like earlier on this year. Like, so for the meta sprint, I was actually injured.
Okay.
Like, yeah, I was suffering like the Achilles tendinopathy.
Yep.
So it was definitely from like a sudden increase in mileage. Because last December, I was on holiday for about 3 weeks.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I was out. And then when I came back to Singapore, because I was in China, so it was like really cold.
Oh, so you didn't? Oh, I thought you were going to say you're on holiday, so you exercised for 3 weeks in a row.
No.
You just didn't do anything for 3 weeks in a row.
Yeah, I tried to, like, because in China, it was a bit difficult to navigate my way through the roads. So I only could train on the treadmill whenever we moved to, like, a hotel instead of, like, the Airbnb. And so, so like, I barely could train.
Yeah.
And then when I came back to Singapore, it was hot as well.
Yeah.
And then I was trying to force, like, all the mileage in.
You're doing the revenge training.
Yeah,
right?
because I was like, oh my god, my fitness is dropping. Like, even my Garmin says, oh, your VO2 is
Don't-
like
don't
falling,
listen
it's
to your
falling, it's
Garmin.
falling. I know, like, we shouldn't trust it, but I just like couldn't, like,
Yeah.
I just couldn't trust myself, and then I was forcing all the mileage in. I couldn't trust anything. I wasn't trusting the process. I couldn't trust like what my coach was saying, and I was just doing everything on my own.
Yeah.
And that was when like I fell into the injury because I
Yeah.
was pushing too much and I wasn't listening to my body.
Yeah. So you're just bashing your body too hard, and then
Yeah.
got a bone. You end up getting a bone bruise, or you get some sort of
Yeah.
crazy. And then, so that caused the Achilles injury.
Yeah. Because the mileage was like, it was just too fast. I was not like ramping in properly. Yeah.
And how long did that take to recover from?
Actually the pain was just, it sustained for pretty much a while. And then I was just running it through. But I took it off after the race. And then it was about 1.5, 2 weeks. Of like very, very light work and barely any like effort.
It's almost counterintuitive or counterproductive, right? To train so hard, because you train so hard, but then now you can't do anything for 2 weeks.
Yeah,
right. So
definitely.
you could have just, if you could have extended your training through those 2 weeks more consistently, and you would have come out even stronger than doing something crazy like that, right?
Yeah, I think I need to understand like it's seasonal. Like not every athlete will be peaking at
Of
every
course.
stage. Yeah.
That's half of the game, right? Is to know your peaks and your rests and your peaks and
That's
and
right.
training for the A race and the B race and everything like that, right? So we were supposed to do this last week, but you were in Perak, right?
Oh, yeah.
How did that go? How was that race? What was it? Was it the Asia Cup, or was it just a reach?
No, it was just like a national race for the Malaysians. And then Singapore sent like a team of us up.
Yeah.
And honestly, I'm really happy with how the whole race panned out.
Okay.
Although
So what event did you do?
I did the duathlon.
Like sprint or
Yeah, it was a sprint.
Okay, which is what, 5:45?
It was a 5, 20, and 2.5 K run.
Okay.
Run by run.
Yep.
Yeah. And I went into the race thinking, oh, it's an elite wave, but turned out it was like a age group race.
Okay.
Yeah, so I had nobody to work with on the bike.
So you just went off
Yeah.
guns blazing in the 5K, and then you were
That's
like,
right.
oh, I'm lonely at the front.
Yeah, but I think the very good thing was because honestly, I'm really happy with how my first run went out because I ran really, really hard. Maybe like a bit too hard at the beginning because I was like trying to follow the guys.
Okay.
Yeah, because the guys and the girls started all together. Yeah, but I think that race like really pushed me way beyond my limits, like where I thought I could be.
Yeah.
Because the bike really
So
went.
was the first run better than you expected?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The distance was, although the distance was longer, like for both the runs, but I was really happy with how the run went out. Like my heart rate was like shooting off the roofs.
Well, sometimes you need to see the edge so you know where it is,
Yeah.
right? So you push yourself harder than you expected, but you didn't die. You did okay. You didn't cramp. You didn't do anything like that.
Yeah.
So
Like-
you know next time where.
I could be doing that as well because
Yeah.
like I'm usually more conservative because there's still the bike and e-fix run. But I think that was the first like duathlon that I actually like pushed really hard on, even the first run.
Yep.
But I managed to like push even harder on the bike because the bike results were like pretty impressive. The way that like I had nobody to work with.
Yep.
But I'm still really happy with how like my watts and all the power showed up. Yeah.
So I'm assuming you won the race.
Yeah.
You did. Okay. That's good. That's good.
That's really like it's a bonus.
Yeah,
I'm just like really happy with the effort out there.
Okay. Tell me this. So you've been doing this pretty seriously for what, 4 or 5 years now, I guess.
2 and a
2.5.
two, yeah, two
Okay.
and a half.
If you want to talk to yourself before your first race, with all the knowledge that you have in your brain now, right? What are the things that you tell your younger self to forget about? No, don't worry about these so much. And what do you think things that you say you need to focus on?
I would say don't focus on comparing with other people because I think that's really like okay, like, everybody says like comparing is a thief of joy and happiness.
True.
And I think that's really true.
Yeah.
And I think especially in sports because everyone's journey is always different.
And everyone is on a different point of their journey as well,
That's right. Because this is my own journey and mine wouldn't look like yours.
Yeah.
And that's why I shouldn't be comparing like where I am to like where you are now.
Yeah. And everyone's gradient is different as well, right? So
Yeah.
we talk about Adrian. I always talk about Adrian on this podcast for some reason. But Adrian's his gradient was really fast, right?
Yeah.
He was probably the same 2.5 years, but suddenly he's like absolutely up there in everything, right?
That's right.
And then the other triathletes that have been doing it for 5 years, they're also up there, but it took them a lot longer, right? So you compare, and if he compared back then to these other guys, he would think, okay, in another 2.5 years, I might be there, but he's there already.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. So I think like just trust in yourself because in the past I always like to compare and I feel like it's very detrimental for your like own mental health and then it's not even helping for your training because you're just not gonna trust yourself.
Yeah.
And you're just gonna think like, oh, I'm always like worse than them or like I'm not even doing as great.
I think, especially if you see other people on Strava, right? Or you see other people's, you know what other people are doing, right?
Yeah.
And then they go out for a long ride in Malaysia or something and then think, oh, yeah, they're doing this. Why I should be doing this? Or
That's why I don't on Strava on rest days. Like Strava is out, but I do like to use Strava.
Yeah.
Like, at this point, I don't compare, but then I just like look at like what other people do. I'm like, hey, everyone is like working hard.
Yeah.
We all should work hard.
Yeah, but yeah, exactly. So it's a bit of you got to take it with a grain of salt, right? You got to balance.
Yeah.
You got to balance. You know what you're doing. You can only improve yourself, right?
Correct.
Whatever they're doing is not going to improve you, and whatever you're doing is not going to improve them, right? So
Yeah.
I guess it comes down to trusting the process and sticking to the plan,
Yeah.
right? As long as you trust your plan, you should order.
Everything will be like
everything
if
should be
if
okay.
it's yours, it will be yours.
Yeah. Right. So SEA Games 2025 has like 8 different events, right? There's all these different relays and I don't even
So
know.
many of
I
them.
don't even know what's going on. But I'm sure there's an individual duathlon in there somewhere and there's probably an individual.
There isn't an individual duathlon, so there's only an individual triathlon.
Okay.
And then for triathlon, duathlon, and aquathlon, there's the mixed relay and the men's and women's like pure relay.
But the relays. Okay, so I'm assuming you're aiming for the SEA Games, right?
Yeah.
So then the only choice you have is to do one of these relays.
Yeah.
Right. And SEA Games relays, it's not like one person does the run, one person does the swim.
No.
It's like you do the whole event.
Yeah.
Tag, they do the whole event.
Yeah.
And
then you
tag, right?
teach. Yeah, that's
Oh,
right.
okay. Any indications on the SEA Games team at this stage? It's now June, right? The SEA Games is in December.
Yeah.
Everyone always tells me when I ask them this question, we haven't selected yet, or how many more races are there for selection?
Well, we still have one more on
Okay.
falling on 26th July for the super sprint duathlon.
Okay.
Yeah.
So then
That would be the final one.
that'll be the final one. So then, assuming sometime in August, the team will be selected, and then you have August, September, October, November, 4 months to intense training
Correct.
for it, right?
Yeah. But I'm sure everyone is intensely training right now as well.
I know, yeah. Yeah, I'm sure they are. But knowing you're on the team, then you have a new A race, right? So then
Yeah.
you are going to go for that. I was Googling you this morning, and believe it or not, you are world duathlon ranked number 50 in the world,
Oh,
right? That is quite amazing, right? And I was thinking back, and then Luke Chua, when he was on, he was saying to be in the Olympics, you're gonna be top 50 in the world, right? I guess a duathlon on the Olympic sport, but if you were, you'll be there, you'll be right up there with the best of them.
but maybe I'll be there to be left. But I do have
So then you can still call yourself an Olympian, right? No one remembers.
yeah, I do have like a World Games in Chengdu this August.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, for the duathlon.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that's going to be a pretty high level, like high on your bucket list of races to do.
Yeah, I'm actually really excited because I have never been like on the world like stage before. Yeah.
The duet. So if you compare the world elite level triathletes and the elite level duathletes, is it the same people doing the same sports, or are they specialties or duathletes?
No, I don't think like the world duathlon
Is
like,
this prestigious?
yeah, that's right. Because duathlon definitely have like much lesser races opportunities as compared to the triathlon triathletes.
Yeah.
But I'm sure like the triathletes when they do the duathlon, they'll be top there as well. Because yeah, like I think triathletes are also duathletes.
Yeah.
Because they can do everything. They're like great at every component.
And then the best triathletes are also the best runners.
Yeah, that's right.
As well, right?
Yeah.
So what is your end game or for this sport? Are you when will you feel okay, I've done everything I want to do? When will you be happy with it? Like, do you have an ultimate goal that you want to get to somewhere?
Definitely is the SEA Games like 2025. And then from moving forward, behind my head I always think of like, I want to do like 2029 marathon.
Oh, marathon. Nice.
Yeah, but at the same time I'm like, do I really want to up like the mileage so much yet? Or do I still want to
4 years away, right? It's not
Yeah.
not a lot of
Yeah.
time.
I don't really have like a big picture in mind of like where I want to be. I just want to take it at my own like progress, like where I'll progress in the future. Maybe Ironman, half Ironman. You never know if I start swimming next year. Yeah, but I definitely do want to progress in my runs. Yeah,
Because you're a better runner than you are a cyclist.
That's right.
Definitely, right? So do you have any chance of getting 10,000 meters for SEA Games, or is that just a bit too short for you? Have you tried that distance before, the 10,000?
Yeah, I do like the 10,000 as well, but I don't think I could be that great because even at this point, like the qualification mark is like faster than the national record.
Oh.
And yeah, I am not there yet. Like, no idea.
The bronze. That goes back to the bronze medal of the last SEA Games is the qualification for this SEA Games, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I'll see where it
So
goes.
you're quite far from you're quite far from.
Yeah, I'm actually quite far on the runs. I still have to I have like lots of work to do.
And then, but then if you did think of SEA Games marathon 2029, right? Do you think that because your half marathon time is what, 1:28?
Yeah.
Or
There was
thereabouts. Was that your PB at the stand chart? Or
Yeah, it was.
So it's 1:28. So then times that by 2 or whatever it is. What is the qualification mark for the marathon for SEA Games?
From what I remember, it was like 2:50s.
Okay, so like roughly 3 hours, 2:50s, 3 hours. Okay.
It was the 2:50s. Yeah.
Okay.
I think
So-
about that.
Yeah, so you got some work to do.
Yeah, lots of work.
Yeah.
Like we'll see what I get. Yeah.
Yeah,
It's just a
4 years,
aspiration.
4 years down the road, you're 4 years older, 4 years wiser. You'll be in school anymore.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
So you might
I
have
will
more
be
time.
at
You might have time, or you might have no time because you've got a full-time job now, bro.
Oh yeah. Clinicals.
Yes. How do people get a hold of you? So I follow you on Instagram. It's X Xuan Jie, right?
XX. Yeah, X It's a double X.
double X.
My name. Yeah.
Right. And that would be the best way for someone to follow you and to if they want to follow up and see your journey and stuff, right?
Yeah.
So what next for you for this year? I guess is just all eyes to the World Games and the Sea Games, and then after that, next year, what are you planning to do?
Next year,
Is that too far ahead?
a bit too far. I don't know when it comes. It will come. But I just want to continue training and definitely just like see the timings improve.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I really, really hope that I will have like the will to start swimming. I don't know, because I do want to do the half Ironman.
Yeah.
Because everyone's been talking about it and I want to try it.
And well, there's different levels you can do an event, right? Some people just do it to finish.
Oh
right?
yeah.
And then some people do it to get under a certain time. They want to
That's
get under
right.
5 hours, or they want to do this. And then some people want to go to the world champs, right? And they're three very separate sort of goals,
Correct.
right? Or different categories that you want. So I guess it depends on how you personally feel like you want to do.
Yeah.
And let's hope for the best.
Yeah, but me being competitive, I don't think I would like ever let myself be like, I'm going to dare to finish.
I was just going there for the experience. I want to finish a t-shirt in the middle.
Yeah, definitely I want to like do my best, and I want to be like, I want to go to the racing hard.
Yeah.
Because it's called a race for like a reason.
And you want to finish it strong and not do too much energy, but also not have anything left in the tank.
That's
and
right.
be happy with your result, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you so much for coming in.
Thank
I look forward to seeing your results for the rest of the year. Good luck to the SEA Games. If you get in.
I hope.
Yeah, if you get in.
We never know.
I know, but I think you're a pretty sure bet. And look forward to hearing more from you soon.
All right. Thank you for having me.